Hello, and welcome to the Casino Tears podcast. I'm one of your hosts, 10 Ton is number one, and joining me as my co-host is the one and only Ed Robinson from Roll to Win Craps. If you want more info on our show, please visit our page at casinotears.com. On this week's show, we discuss team play, listener meetups, Planet Hollywood, Bellagio and Encore, playing solo. We also touch on the Grateful Dead and Parrot heads, hoppin' the hot numbers, 15 nines, and why 10 Ton loves psychedelics. Man, I want to get a sponsorship to this thing. Culture Pop, dude. I love this soda, strawberry rhubarb.
You talked about that like a month ago.
I know, but I should really hold this up.
Hold it up in front of the non-camera audio.
Right here.
Hold it in front. Hold it up in front of the mic.
Looks good right here on this black t-shirt.
Someday our Patreons might be able to see this on video.
Oh, I'm glad you brought that up, Ed. So a lot of people, I'm going to plug the Patreon, okay? First of all, I'm going to apologize to all the people that are subscribed to our Patreon. It's growing, but there are extended versions of all this that I want people to hear because I think some of these extended versions are, selfishly, I think there are some of the funniest shit that's in there for me, and I'm doing this a lot for the laughs, okay? You got to
have a sense of humor, right? I like your hat, by the way.
What, the gold one?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I like the gold one, but
I gave away every hat I had was gone quick in Biloxi.
I like the gold sometimes. I wear the white one all the time. That's like standard issue. I wear that to the gym. I always have that thing on. But the gold one, every now and then, it kind of goes, sometimes. I like it. Goes when I wear blue.
What else we got coming?
As far as merch?
Yeah.
Oh, man, the whole new line, Ed. You have no idea.
Are we getting ready? Are we getting ready?
Well,
for the next launch
I need to
of
show
new merch?
the Patreon people. So back to my apologies, and I'll tell you, Ed, I'm going to show the new felt that's getting designed. That looks fucking awesome, by the way.
For your table.
The Casino Tears.
Up in the 31st floor.
31st floor.
I'm never going to forget that.
For the Craps Master Class.
I'm never going to say 30 plus. I'm going to say 31st.
For the Craps Master Class, dude. Okay.
Yep.
TBD. That thing's being designed with Kelly and a million back and forth. I know he hates me. His son hate me. Can you imagine?
I almost need to call him and apologize.
Yeah, go ahead. Apologize for me. Okay. But we laugh about it. Can he laughs about it? But I think ultimately you get something that looks good, man. That felt looks awesome. I'm going to post that when I get the final one onto our Patreon. Ed, you understand. Some people might not understand. I work full-time, multiple jobs.
Hours and hours and hours. When you say multiple jobs, what you really mean is multiple positions within your own company.
Yeah, within multiple
companies. Yeah, companies.
It's not like, so that's why I'm getting to all this. The fact that this is getting done is a miracle. But you know what? Quality sounds great, Ed. You can't deny it. It sounds so good. And were you just reading that text that Mudslide sent?
Yep.
Can I read that text?
Sure.
That is like so nice to hear, dude, isn't it?
It is.
He sends a text. He's like, wow, the podcast today was pure. What makes what you guys are doing so amazing. Bringing in Bo as an OG point of view mixed in with 10 ton and roll to win perspective on the game. Again, laughing out loud all the way through the commute. Plus, I picked up a few great pointers on improving my game as a bonus. All the best, guys, and keep on keeping on. I like that. It's an old school.
Keep on keeping on. That's an old hippie phrase.
Yeah, I like that, dude. The Grateful Dead are playing at the Sphere. They are. Ed, you ever go see a Dead show? Because I did.
I am not a deadhead.
Yeah, I know, but I never was. But I had a girlfriend that was a hippie.
Yeah.
And when I was in Michigan, and she took me to Buckeye Lake, which is like, I think it's Buckeye Lake, Ohio. And man, that is a sight. It was a shame I wasn't into like doing like tons of psychedelics. That probably would have been a fun time.
I can't imagine you on psychedelics, dude.
I have done psychedelics. In fact, acid was like one of the most memorable things ever.
Not a partaker.
No, and mushrooms are fantastic, but I wasn't really like doing. Those are old school. That's old school stuff, man.
That is old school. I don't even know what new school is.
Well, mushrooms are back, and
Oh, they come
chocolates and
back
everything.
again?
Oh
Are they
yeah,
making a comeback?
mushrooms are like they're
They
everywhere.
got a mushroom drink out.
Yeah, dude. Anyway, Buckeye Lake, that's where I saw the Dead. I only saw one Dead show, but they're playing at the Sphere and it's pretty sweet. I mean, actually, Ed, my company ran some ads. We had like 6 trucks running for the Dead and I think a couple billboards. Anyway, Patreon. I need to send, I know everyone doesn't have the disposable income for Patreon. I get it, but it's worth it. Compare it to other Patreon accounts. These are extended versions like the episode that I'm going to work on next.
You can drive all week. You can drive all week listening to Patreon.
I mean, listen, this is going to be another hour with Bo on there. So,
Yeah.
and then I'm backed up. I'm going as fast as I
You're
can
so you're so way backed up.
to get this stuff
Way.
done, but it's really cool. I'm hoping to have help running, posting some stuff on Patreon. So I'm have a little assistant, Ed. Maybe we're gonna figure it out. But like I interviewed someone to possibly edit, working on all that stuff as it goes. But thank you to all the people that are subscribed to our Patreon. Totally appreciate it. But just know I'm not ever slacking on purpose.
And not only that, but just thank you for those that listen. Period. But
Yeah.
especially, I guess, thank you to the Patreons. But I mean, just people that listen and enjoy it.
The feedback has been fucking amazing, man. And like that thing from Mudslide, that's what's great because it was time to have that conversation. Bringing in that third person for that third perspective. We should do more of that stuff. And we're going to sprinkle those into our comedy hour. Okay.
Into the comedy show.
So, Ed, while you were in having, a very successful Brownwater Bash 2, the second.
Yeah, number 2.
A lot of things happened, and it was mostly interacting with our listeners to the podcast.
And came to Vegas.
Yeah, that were in Vegas. And that's the other thing. For sure, 1000%. If you're on our Patreon, I'm meeting up with you whenever you're in. Like, we're going to schedule time to meet. It's a shame I'm not going to be here for H2O guy.
Oh, I know who he is. I know him, but I don't know him. So I know, yeah,
that's a shame. But I'm, got to take care of some other business in LA. Ed, I want to talk about a bunch of people that I've met this past week.
Tell me who you met, 10 Ton.
Okay. First of all, I ended up meeting G-Dub from Houston.
G-Dub. Yeah.
I didn't play craps with him, but I ended up really early in the morning. I think it was like, I don't know, 8, maybe something like that, maybe earlier. We walked over to Paris. I actually didn't walk. I drove and we sat and we had like 3 cups of coffee at the bar and just talked about everything, life, craps, all that stuff. He's a fucking G and he's got G-Dub, G-Dub, man. He's a great dude.
Yeah.
And that was just a pleasant surprise. And you happened to call unplanned while we were.
I did.
Yeah.
I did, didn't I?
You were on speaker and he was like, this 10 Ton is exactly who I thought he would be. That's something like that when he met me.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he's a cool dude. You know what I learned? I didn't know that because he had parrots on his shirt because he's a parrot head. Do you know what that is?
I know what a pirate head is.
No, dude, it's because they're like Jimmy Buffett.
Oh.
Have you ever heard of that? Did you ever like Jimmy Buffett?
Well, I mean, most people at least like Jimmy Buffett.
Like, I know he's got
Margaritaville.
Yeah, dude, they're playing that on the pirate ship.
Yeah.
For sure, Buffett's on that ship.
Absolutely.
Yeah, drinking all that stuff. The funny thing is that he's a parrot head, and then I met another parrot head, which is crazy.
We got a lot of parrot heads playing craps.
I know. It'd be great if I had a parrot on my shoulder right now.
You need a parrot head at a patch over your left eye.
That's G-Dub. He was awesome. And I can't wait to actually be at a table with him. Next time I'll coordinate it better. But then you remember that Carolina Brian?
Yep.
And
Shaker Baker?
Yeah, Mrs. Shaker Baker.
Yeah.
And I brought a G-Dub license, and then I brought
Did you?
Yeah, and then I brought
Brian P.
Miss Shaker Baker. Yeah, not Brian, because I didn't have his handle. Forgot his handle. His handle's Carolina Brian. He's on my list, my next batch of licenses that I make. But I met him one night before they took the flight out the next day. I met him over at the Mirage.
He took a class from Bo, if I'm not mistaken, or did a tune-up or something.
Yeah, and so I showed up at Mirage. haven't been to Mirage in I don't know how many years. It's like been a decade. It brought back memories actually, because I remember I ate at that sushi spot right when you walk in there. I'm like, wow,
Vegas vacation.
it's been a minute. And so he was playing craps. I didn't play. I wasn't mentally feeling like it, but I brought him a couple shirts, license, and I just chilled with him for like 45 minutes while he played. And I
Yeah.
watched the table. It was fun to observe that table because there was someone betting. Man, he was betting like 500s on each number. I mean, if you include the point, like 3,000 every hand, easy. It was interesting. I always love watching stuff like that and seeing how
they
people
play it.
bet. Yeah, and he had
Yeah.
hundreds on the bonus, and none of the bonuses ever hit. That bankroll was dwindling how he was playing it. I wanted to help him a little bit.
You wanted to tap him on the shoulder and say, "Don't do that."
I just wanted to say, like, that's what I mean. Even at that high level, you think, oh, someone's buying in for this much money. They're playing one way and one way only. There was no like gear shifting, no anything. And that's what I have a problem with when I say system,
Yeah.
a simple system. You're just going and doing this and that's it. And you're never changing to what is, you're almost forgetting that there's a table there that's you're battling against. You know, you're just doing the same thing. It's kind of like beating your fucking head against a wall.
Yeah. Did I tell you I used the off button
Like
in
a
Biloxi?
champ. And you did. That's
No, not like a chimp. More not a champ. More like a chimp.
it's the most powerful tool.
It is.
That's what you said.
If your intuition is correct, and if you've really got it, dialed in, but I was a little bit off with my off button.
You were turning it off at all the wrong times.
Yeah, I was.
How come? You were just getting these feelings?
No, I was actually trying to play like Bo in a way. You're seeing all these box numbers, all these box numbers, all these box numbers. And I can remember Gargoyle
Mm-hmm.
threw an ace deuce, and I had a $250 four sitting out there.
That caused you to tingle.
I turned my bets off.
Then, oh my God, Ed, don't tell me a four with next.
Next throw was a freaking four.
Oh man. You should call Bo, tell him he owes you $500.
He owes me $500. And then, so I turned my bets on after that. Like,
Yeah.
And so then he throws like another box. So I'm back on. And then he throws, guess what he throws? Another ace deuce.
Okay. Yeah. Turn it off.
Nope.
Okay.
Like,
then what happens? Seven.
He followed through it next time. Freaking seven.
Yeah. Sometimes it's
And
timing,
like
man.
$1,000 sitting on the damn thing. It is timing, and it's a little bit off button is not something I use a lot, especially on tosses. Use them on interference at the table, but not like he was talking about.
Yeah.
I tried to play like Bo, but I should never turn that bet back on, I guess.
It's a very there's going to be times though when Bo's system is going to save you a ton of money.
But can I say this?
Yeah.
When he was coming out and I had that $250 four sitting over there.
Yeah.
And it was a come out roll. I hopped the fours for $30, 15 each. He threw a hard four.
Oh, wow. Nice.
So that was a sweet little hit. So I didn't feel too bad.
Yeah.
When I ultimately lost the bet, or my timing was
What'd
bad
that pay?
or whatever you.
Oh, yeah, that's 450.
And I left them up.
Wow.
What a bad hit.
Yeah, that's super sweet.
So that was good timing.
Yeah.
But there again, you got a hot number. It's pressed up pretty good. Don't waste a roll.
Why'd you bet that?
Why did I
Yeah,
bet
why
that?
did you bet it?
Hop?
Yeah. Do you often hop?
Only on hot numbers on comeouts where you've got a big
Bet on the hard ways?
No, you've already got a big number up on the boxes. You don't want to waste a roll.
Yeah, okay. I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Because I didn't want him to throw a come out four, which he did. If he'd have thrown a come out four and I had not popped it, I would have won nothing.
Yeah,
And that was his last four of the hand.
that's astute. I like that. I would have, if I had hard ways, like a hard four up over 100 or at 100, I would have done the same thing. Maybe I should just do it. Actually, I'll start thinking about just doing it on a hot number, regardless of if I have.
Hot number that you've got, doesn't matter if it's hard way or not, but it could have been a five. Whatever it is you've got pressed up above normal. I mean, you've got it well
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
pressed and you're coming out. That's a hot number that shooter's tossing. Hop it
That's
on the
wise. I
come
like
out.
that. Yeah, that's like the
Do
old.
not, do not waste the roll.
I need to be on more of those hot tables.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
hard to do when you got all them tourists there.
Well, I there weren't tourists. That's a beautiful segue into after Brian P.
Yeah.
or Carolina Brian, a split after 45 minutes. He was great, great dude though, super nice, man.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
The next night, Bo had called me and introduced me to two people, and I think they had already were listening to the podcast. Either way, everyone seems to know each other because they actually turns out these guys knew G Dub too,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
is like a
Yeah.
very small world because I think he was like, "Hey, you guys should be listening to this podcast, Casino Tears," and they were like, "We already do listen to it." So anyway, first guy, Moonshine Melvin. This is his handle,
I
dude.
do not know that.
Yeah, Moonshine Melvin, dude.
I like that handle.
I know. I knew you would.
Was he from Kentucky?
No, he's from fucking Idaho, dude.
Oh, I guess they make moonshine there too.
You would love this, dude. He's got elks on his chips.
Elks on he got personal chips.
Yeah, they both do.
I need those.
These guys are shooters, man. So then he was there with a guy named Wisco 330.
I know Wisco.
Yeah, from Wisconsin, man. So Moonshine Melvin, Wisco 330, we head over to Planet Hollywood. I don't think they've ever played at Planet Hollywood. I'm pretty sure if my memory serves me correct. I got to tell you, man, after watching them play like 3 sessions, super
Yep.
impressed. They conduct themselves like total pros. Their
Yeah, good.
approach to the
Yeah.
game, composed. They know what they're doing. Ed, their setups for their shots, very serious,
Yeah,
even
yeah.
with drinks. I loved being at the table with these guys because they also, and we should think about having them on, or one of them, if both, having them on because they were playing as a team,
Oh, good.
which I found really, really interesting on what that takes to actually do that. One of them was betting maybe the lows, the other was betting the highs, and they were
Yeah.
managing their own sides. You think sometimes with partners, you have to have total trust. You
Yes.
can't be, it's like business or people that I hire or that work for me. This might surprise you. I am not a micromanager.
Well, if they get through an interview with you, if they can just get hired with you, that's saying something right there, right?
No, I don't know. I take risks, right? I've often thought of my company as like the closest thing that it would resemble would be like a animal rescue for humans. That's, you know,
You do take risks.
yeah,
That's too
giving
much
people
risk.
like careers and helping them get their lives on track. But anyway, so the fact that they were playing as a team and as partners, dude, fascinating because you would think that that might not work with craps players because you have to have total trust in them and you have to be
Yep.
on the same page and you can't be looking over going, why did you do this? Or why are you pressing this? Or why are you taking? I could see a lot of people doing that.
Well, I played on a table one time with two guys that were on a team at the Strat on the crapless table. And the guy next to me played the 2 through 6, and the guy on the other end of the table played the 8 through 12. They played together.
Well, what do they do? Like, do they share a bankroll going in? Like, how do they split it? These are all questions I want to ask.
I think they had a set. I think those particular guys had a set amount of a buy-in, and it was a shared buy-in. And you're going to play the 8 through 12s. I'm going to play the 2 through 6s. We're going to see how we're going to go win money.
Let's say you and I were on the same team and on one side of the table. Like, would you be mad? Like, would you be like, fuck, man, what's this fucking guy doing? How's he got like 1,000 on the 4? What the hell? Why didn't you take it? Like having those, like someone like backseat driving you, you'd have to be like, just do your thing.
Yes, the only way to do it. That's the only way to do it. You've got to have somebody that you have total trust and faith in whatever they're going to do. Would I team up with you if you're going to do that? Probably not. But
Oh, man, I'm officially looking for someone who will be my teammate when we do a team thing.
team play is tough. I mean, there's a lot of ways to develop a team. It's like a team of shooters, and everybody manages their own bankroll. That's one way.
Love that.
All right. I mean, yeah, I've done that multiple times where you're with four people and you got four people on a table and everybody manages their own bank, does their own buy-in, their own bankroll.
That's pretty sweet.
The other thing is you just do it like they're doing, where you've got so somebody's got the low side of the table, somebody's got the high side of the table, and however they bet it, they bet it. You're not worried about what they're doing. You're only worried about 4, 5, and 6, or 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, however you're doing it, whichever table you're.
And I wonder if they had agreements on like, Ed, I'm gonna run the 4 this way and my 5 this way. But it's not going to be a set thing because I am going to
No,
take money off the
you're
table.
gonna adapt. You're gonna adapt. Each person's gonna adapt differently because if you and you've seen this where somebody's only throwing downtown and the uptown numbers are never. So the uptown guy's probably going to regress down. He's not going to come off the table because there's going to be a few opportunities that may randomly occur, but you're going to have somebody who's on a hot side of the table or hot side of the box numbers. And you just got to trust that. You got to have somebody you really trust to make good decisions and be satisfied with whatever decision they make.
I would love to have these guys on to talk to them about this. It's so interesting.
Well, I've seen husband and wives do it on tables, but that's a little bit different.
That's different, man.
Well, how was the team played from being an observer? Even though you might have played it differently, I'm sure.
I don't know how they ended up. I think they both ended up, but I don't know like how it is because remember these guys played a lot. When I saw them, I was only like they had already been at the Palms. They had already done this. They had already played a bunch of times. So I don't know, like, I would actually like doing it. It'd be kind of fun. But I do like your way. That's a dream. Just being there with a bunch of shooters and we're all on the same page. Fucking manage your own money. Let's just shoot. Like everyone knows. All right, I'm shooting like shit. I'm not shooting. I'm done. You know what I mean? Find the hot hand and let's run with it.
Yeah, that's all you want. That's all you're wanting. You got to leave your ego behind. I used to play on a team with I'm not going to name names. 1, 2, 3, 5 guys.
It's like a basketball team, right?
Yeah, we had a basketball team at the craps table. You know, the 5 guys would play their own way with their own bankroll, but you were there as a team of shooters or a team of players. So it was a little bit different because not everybody on the team wants to transfer money into a pot and then, because then you get into a different situation. When you're doing that kind of a thing with that many players, not just 2, but you're getting into 5, then you got the distractor, right? You got the comedian or the distractor, as we called him.
Who's that? What's he? Who is that? What do you mean?
Just talking it up, just doing stupid ass small bets.
Oh, okay.
Small, hopping this, let's do it, acting the fool. You've got the blockers, right? That's their job, and they're making only box bets. And then you've got a couple of shooters involved that are designated to be the shooters, but they're not. They're betting very minimal.
Okay, yeah, because they know it's getting taken care of.
Yeah. They're doing a pass line with small odds, maybe a 6 and 8, or small number, small bets. So then you've got a different type of team at that point because you've got multiple players. You got a stick left one, a stick right one. You got a straight out guy. You've got some guy over there in the turn who's really just kind of a distractor. Maybe you've got 2 distractors where they're just making stupid bets and nobody knows that they're a team until they all color up at the same time, walk away.
Yeah, and they're all doing specific tasks that they should be. They should excel in, right?
They have specific duties. Yes,
that'd be cool,
at
man.
The table, they have specific duties at the table, and they've got to agree to only be that person.
Yeah, you're right. I bet
And so
we should
then
ask
it becomes
more people about this shit.
It's not easy to find those people because everybody's got egos. They're going to complain about the bets that the bettors are making.
Hell yeah, dude. They're going to fucking there's going to be people that are going to be a little fucking uptight.
So you got to have the right guys. That's why more often it's bet your own bankroll. Some guys making 15,000, one guy's making 1,500.
Yeah.
Because they have different styles.
Yeah. One guy's fucking spewing with like every little prop bet. Well, anyway, I was very impressed with both of these guys, and they were fucking cool as fuck. After that night, Ed, I ended up going back to Bellagio. I haven't been there in a while. It's been a long time since I've been at Bellagio.
I haven't heard you mention Bellagio
I
since
know.
Happy Van Winkle.
Exactly.
Which
To
hasn't
Bellagio.
aired yet.
That's in the archive somewhere. Went back there in the morning, which was great. Got a coffee, walked over to Bellagio, fucking marker for 5K. So I was down the first session, down $1,000
Yeah.
from our first session at Planet Hollywood. And I had made a mistake in the morning. I had asked Moonshine Melvin, I said, listen, I made a big mistake last night. Do you know what that mistake was?
And he said,
he texted me. He's like, I know what that mistake was. I was surprised that he knew it. So when I got there to Bellagio, I said, okay, what was my mistake? He's like, you had said you were leaving and you were like, I'm done. I'm out. Because I was up, Ed. It was a tough session. It was a grindy session. And I got up, back up, and I'm like, I'm done. I'm out. We're good. And then
you stayed.
I had already made the decision multiple times. I'm out of here. I'm leaving. Cool. This was a tough session. I'm happy to be up less than 100, but I was up.
You're up. Up is up.
I was mad at myself, man. I was very mad at myself for that. I was already out of there mentally. And then you just go back. I've done that. Poker players do that too. They want to get up from the session, and then all of a sudden they're like, oh, one more hand. Then it's something like queens. And then you're all of a sudden lose everything that you just did really quickly. Anyway, this compounded. I was up $750 pretty quick.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I was letting that last night's session, I wasn't letting that go. In my head, I was still down. I wanted to get that $1,000 back. I was texting Bo during the whole time. He's like, leave. Yeah. Of course, I didn't leave. I waited too long because I wanted to get that money back. So anyway, I left like up $100. Still a win, right?
On the session, it was a win.
Mistake was not leaving at that high point. I just wanted to get all of it back from the night before. That's a huge mistake. 2 mental mistakes, very correctable, but internal discipline mistakes.
This internal discipline is tough.
Not playing mistakes. You know what I mean? Like not stupid stuff. Like it was
a discipline mistake.
Yeah. I mean, I was proud of how I played all those times to get even to grind back, to get even, to be up. I could have left Planet Hollywood up. Then I could have left, theoretically, if I made those 2 correct decisions, I could have left Bellagio walking back with my coffee up $750.
Why wouldn't you be? Why wouldn't anyone be happy with that?
Exactly. I would have been thrilled.
A lot of people are not. And so time is not your friend at the table unless it's just an incredibly stupidly hot table.
None of these were.
Yeah. Those all sound grindy, choppy. You know, you'd say choppy, whatever you want to call it, but you were having to carefully not lose and try to win when you could.
So went out that night again, met them both back at Planet Hollywood.
Well, you went back to the scene of the crime.
Mm-hmm. We walked into this table, and the guy just needed the 12 to make them all, and he had I think he had quarters on him. This guy shooting from stick left 1, and I already had like chips, so I was able to quickly plunk down 300 on 6, and I hit that a couple times before he hit the 12 and made them all. So this table was like certifiably like a hot table. Then it got cold. He had an argument about something.
Oh, bad juju.
Yeah, literally, dude. He must have been sitting there with probably like $8,000, maybe 10. And he gets into it because he said he threw $200 to them for something. And then he was like, check the cameras, right? And they were like, no, you didn't. Anyway, he ends up leaving. It's so weird because he had just won like that much money and they're bitching at each other. Turns out he was right.
Remind me to tell you a story in a minute.
Turns out he was right? But he kept saying, check the cameras. The dealer and the other box were like, no, but they were wrong. The guy storms off to go play crapless. Me, Moonshine Melvin, Wisco 330. We all go down, stick left 1, 2, and then there's me. Okay.
Yeah.
At that point, we were already in the hole because when the dice came around after that argument, it was like a couple 0.7s, but they were short rolls. We're down. It was super hot. And then all of a sudden now you're down and you're playing catch up. They both shot great. Their form, everything. They've been taught really well. It was really nice to see. Asian guy to my left went on a fucking massive roll. Okay. Almost hit. I'm playing quarters on the bonus. That really helped spur me back to life. That $750. You just needed aces to clear them. Oh my God, Ed. I was just thinking, not hit aces. It'd be so great. Anyway, it didn't happen. Didn't matter. His roll was long. And then the table just heated up. I ended up leaving up like $500. I'm so happy with that because I was down a couple grand at one point. That was that session with those guys. They're great. I was thinking to myself, I had two other guys that I knew at the table. Then these two guys, I'm like, this is awesome. Four other people that really care, that are thinking about the game, like conscious of how they're throwing, how they're setting, like they're fully mentally in this game. This is great to be around people. It's probably what you experience way more than I do because you have these meetups with players that are actually in it. Ultimately, I should have left up, and up all three sessions, but I didn't. I left down, up, and then up.
Did the two ups negate the down?
I ended up getting my money back from the first night at that second night at Planet Hollywood.
Okay.
I ended up making that up.
That's okay, good.
I paid my marker back. I was up. Those guys saw it, which is good. And that's what I want to say. Like anyone that's listening to this podcast, I will go out and shoot with you. I love doing it and it'd be great.
You're more generous with your time than I can be because I'm not near a casino.
Yeah, that's true. I have the enviable situation that I can just meet someone at a casino, and we've got, if you're staying in Vegas, I've got multiple chances to do it.
Yeah.
Although,
absolutely.
Ed, have you ever had? I've been around so many people at work, like fucking assholes that are like, "Oh, my time is so valuable," and I get it, but my time is too.
You want to hear a quick story?
Yeah, tell me. A full-length extended version of this podcast is available exclusively on our Patreon page. New episodes drop weekly every Tuesday. We hope you enjoyed this podcast and will tell all of your fellow craps-playing friends about it. Please follow Casino Tears on Apple Podcast, Spotify, or your favorite podcast app. If you like the show, please rate it 5 stars and leave a review. The best and most fun way to contact us would be to call and leave a message on our official Casino Tears vent line, 229-NO7. You can also email us at no7@casinotears.com. New episodes drop weekly every Tuesday. And lastly, to help support this podcast, you can visit our Patreon at patreon.com/casinotears. On behalf of Roll to Win Craps from Alabama and 10 Ton is #1 from Las Vegas, thanks for listening.